welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a stack of court documents that draw a very hard line between a toxic workplace and an actual crime scene.
It's a huge distinction.
We're analyzing the Supreme Court's 2024 judgment in Nipun Aneja v. State of Uttar Pradesh, and our mission here is to tackle a really scary question. When does a tough boss become a criminal?
A question that I think affects every single person in an office, really, manager or employee.
To really get the stakes, we have to go back. November 3, 2006. A man named Rajiv Jain, who'd been with Hindustan Lever for 23 years.
23 years. A lifetime.
He walks into a meeting at a hotel in Lucknow. And this wasn't just some standard performance review, was it?
No, not at all. From all the accounts, it was basically an ambush. He was allegedly pressured and pressured hard to accept a voluntary retirement scheme, a VRS.
Which he didn't want.
He refused. And when he did, they didn't just, accept it. They escalated things.
Right there in the meeting, in front of his colleagues, they handed him a letter, a demotion. From salesman down to merchandiser.
I mean, after 2 decades of service, it's a profound humiliation.
It seems it broke him. Shortly after that meeting, Rajiv went to his hotel room and he tragically took his own life.
And his family, completely devastated, sued the corporate officers for abetment of suicide.
Their argument was that the humiliation, that demotion, it left him with no other option.
Which brings us right to the heart of the conflict. I mean, we've all had bad bosses, right? But the family argued this was something else entirely. This was, in effect, murder by other means.
A very heavy accusation. But what does the law actually say? Abetment of suicide sounds serious.
It is. It's under Section 306 of the Indian Penal Code. But the key is that it hinges on Section 107, which defines instigation.
And instigation isn't just, causing stress or being a jerk?
Exactly. The law is very clear. It's not about being mean. It requires active goading, actively provoking someone. You have to be pushing them towards that edge, almost with the intent at the jump.
Okay, so this is where the Supreme Court's judgment really makes a turn, right? They introduced this new idea.
A pivotal one. They drew a line between 2 kinds of relationships: sentimental, like a marriage or family, and official or professional.
That sounds a bit abstract. How does the court see a fight with your boss differently than a fight with your spouse?
Well, think of it this way. In a domestic relationship, emotion is sort of part of the deal. Emotional abuse can seriously unbalance someone because the relationship is built on, care and affection.
But at work?
At work, the relationship is defined by a contract, by company policy. The currency isn't affection, it's productivity and performance.
So when those managers handed Rajiv that demotion letter, as humiliating as it was, the court just sees that as a professional decision.
Precisely. The court said that things like transfers, demotions, restructurings, even if they cause horrible mental anguish, they don't count as criminal instigation. They fall under what's called administrative rights.
Wow, that feels incredibly cold, though. They publicly humiliate a man, and the defense is, oh, it's just policy. How is that not pushing someone over the edge?
It feels cold because the law has to strip the emotion away and look for one specific thing: mens rea.
The guilty mind. Intent.
Exactly. The court had to ask, did these officers want Rajiv Jain to die? And the answer was no. They wanted him to accept the VRS, or the new role. Without proof they actively wanted the suicide to happen, a conviction is legally impossible.
So what was the final verdict?
The Supreme Court quashed the criminal proceedings entirely. They went so far as to call a potential trial an abuse of the process of law.
Basically saying it should never have gotten that far.
That's right. Forcing these officers to stand trial for essentially doing their jobs, however ruthlessly, was legally incorrect.
So for the lawyers listening to this ruling is a massive shield.
Oh, a huge one. This official relationship test is now the primary defense. If you can show the dispute originated from a professional duty or policy, you can probably get the case thrown out.
And for everyone else. The takeaway seems to be that if you're facing workplace harassment, calling the police probably isn't the answer.
That's it in a nutshell. It's almost always a civil or a labor dispute. You sue for damages, you file a complaint with HR, you don't file a criminal FIR. The bar for criminal liability is just incredibly high.
It's a brutal calculus. You want businesses to be able to function, of course, but today's deep dive really makes you ask, at what point does just business cost way too much?
That's the question at the center of it all.
Something to think about. Thanks for listening.